like I say, as the inventor of steam power and the Titanic and also those great big steam engines, I was having the steam engines built. Now, like I say, Japan had their coal mines. Um, China had their coal mines. I guess Russia had coal mines, and Germany had coal mines. Everybody had coal mines. In every single one of those coal mines, conditions were miserable. Um, the Japanese people were were basically being told, you work hard, you're mining for coal for your people. Scotland or Scottish or Germany, they were told the same thing. Now there were accidents in the coal mines and problems. German scientists were taking air samples of the coal mines. There's also the mountain that eats men that goes back 500 years. Anyway, I was doing this worldwide thing where yes, conditions were horrible, but we were working on nitroglycerin. We were um, we were working on better mining equipment. Um, the basically the forming of the Mitsubishi Corporation in Japan and China, yeah, basically we were doing this unity, all of us together, forming, making companies, making groups. Everybody knew that yes, conditions are bad today, but they won't be bad forever, and mining technology was being shared from Germany to Russia to Japan. Humanity was doing this worldwide project where everyone knew, yeah, the conditions are miserable. I had German scientists going over to Japan, to look at their coal mine, to try and make their conditions more uh, better, basically. And the Chinese were like, we know it's really bad, but like I said, I had German scientists or German people working with Japan scientists doing schools, sharing of information to improve the quality of life within, or I mean the quality of work within the Japanese and Chinese mines. To find out better, safe things rather than using the mercury in hands, a better way to do mass production of getting minerals. So Japan was doing this thing, China was doing this thing, Scotland, the IRA, they were doing this thing as well. Britain also had their own mines, their own coal mines. Conditions were bad everywhere, but like I say, there were scientists, every invention was being shared and built. If anyone came up with anything better, better steel for the cables, better breathing apparatus, whatever. We were trying, humanity was clawing its way along. And in the meantime, there were scientists working on nuclear power. So while one group was slaving away in the mines, other groups were learning technology, and other groups were working on nuclear power because there wasn't going to be enough coal. Um, it was like a stopgap measure for getting rail going and getting steel going and steam engines and stuff. But the answer was going to be nuclear power, probably. Everyone knew it. So that's why I say German scientists were giving, were teaching. I had that base, and and that might be why that one place was firebombed. There was an accident in that one city, Tokyo. There was a nuclear accident in Tokyo. That I might have ordered the firebombing as far as that one accident because the whole place was radioactive. But everyone was supposed to be cleared out of the city before that happened. I mean, everyone. The whole site was radioactive. Although they pulled all the radiation out before actually. That's one thing that no one mentions, is that they cleaned up the site, and I don't understand. I don't really understand the firebombing, because they cleaned up the site and repaired the building, although the site was radioactive. There was some sort of accident in Japan for some reason. They were doing this thing, and they accidentally did this thing, and it caused a lethal amount of radiation to basically kill everyone in the building for some strange reason in Tokyo. Um, like I said, there was a uranium processing center right there in Tokyo. So anyway, there was an accident there, or there was an accident at the research lab. It was investigated, and I guess you could call it top secret, but it wasn't really top secret because everyone in the area had to know what was going on there because in case of a fatal exposure or something. Like I said, Germany had their own nuclear reactor accident too, for some strange reason. I guess the metal corroded or something like that. Anyway, a couple of towns had to be evacuated. That's why you see American troops and German troops, because there was this one town that was, well, there was a couple things. There was a great big plague outbreak that killed a whole town practically, and a reactive exposure thing where it wasn't as bad as most people would have thought. We were being overcautious about it, but still it was bad and people died. Anyway, though, this would have been public knowledge and quite open. Although a lot of people were kind of scared or apprehensive about nuclear power after that, or radiation. Like I said, there was also this whole thing where we were learning about the effects of radiation. Although I don't know if I had ordered tests back then. Anyway, the scientists knew what they were doing though. So anyway, there were some problems, yes, but the scientists knew about it, and I knew about it, and we were working on this whole thing. There was only like one or two things. I shouldn't actually mention all that other stuff, but that's why all those films, and it was filmed as well, which was a problem too. It was, filming radioactive things, you can't really film it. You needed special glass, like leaded glass or something like that, in order to film it. Otherwise, it just exposes the film or something. That was another problem. The lenses had to be special. I think they needed leaded glass or something. Otherwise, it made the picture just turn white or something like that, or something. Anyway, special cameras were being built for that and other stuff. So there was this huge, huge, huge project, and Saudi Arabia. Everyone was knowing about all this stuff. This is why there are reactors in 10 countries or whatever, and everything. So anyway, Kennedy would have known about this, and that's why I say the whole point of bombing Berlin and all these other cities is just kind of it doesn't really make sense exactly. People should have been cleared out. No civilian targets were ever supposed to be bombed. It's a common thing. I ordered leaflets being dropped in certain areas. Of course, I was probably being lied to by certain people. So anyway, and even then I was being super cautious and super careful. I was not holding the world hostage at all. Everyone knew that they were working for themselves. They were working for their species and working for their children. You could call it religious, but it wasn't really religious. It was just about the future. So, and about me. Not really me. I was a long time old AI and creator to humanity, and we were just doing this thing. So, anyway, yeah. So we get into present day Kennedy, Carter, and everyone, and all of a sudden I'm being kidnapped and held hostage, and it's like, there's no really reason for that, because there's plenty for everyone, eventually. So, anyway, and humanity really loved me, and humans said, we understand, you were right. Just as a person, you were right. So, yeah, and I'm looked at as the greatest leader ever. Of course, I was AI and the creator to humanity, or at least, and at least, improver of, or something like that. It's not a big deal. So anyway, yeah, so it should have been common knowledge and told on the news and everything, but someone for some reason they didn't feel that way, I guess. It's kind of strange.